Sometimes the greatest lessons that you learn are the ones you learn at the end. That was certainly the case for me in 2011. It was a fall night, cool, and we were in Brentwood, California, which was home for me. The Vikings from Montgomery up in Santa Rosa were coming down to play Heritage High School, where my son was a senior. This was awesome because we talked about all the football experiences and had fun as a father and son did. This was my chance to show him that the Vikings were going to win, and that was the way it was going to be because the Vikings were just better, right? So this was the big night. And as the Vikings started to walk onto the field, I saw Jason Frenchie, the head coach. He was an icon in Santa Rosa. He had coached me way back when, 40 years before. And Frank Scalerio, his assistant coach, walking along with him. And Frankie was the guy who got me involved in football to start with and developed this love for the game. So it was very strong connection personally. I wasn't going to mess with them or anything as they walked up to the field. I wanted them on their A game. I wanted them to bring their best game. I wanted them to show that Montgomery was the best and they were going to win, and so I could win bragging rights with my son. It didn't quite go that way. In fact, it really went the other way, and Montgomery lost 40-20, and it wasn't even that close. So as the game ended and Jason Frenchie and Frank Scalerio were walking off of the field, I brought my son over. I wanted him to meet both of them, but especially Jason. Jason had been an icon. He had taught me so much about football and about life. So as I walked up to the coach, I remembered how bad and how hard it was losing those big games, right? And so I said, Coach, it must have been really a tough night. I mean, you guys really gave it your best, but you just didn't have it tonight. And he looked at me and a big smile on his face and he goes, Larry, he pointed to the field. He said, most people think we teach football out here, but that's not what we teach. He says, we teach life. We teach life and give people skills to be even better as they go forward. That's what we teach. Well, who was he teaching there? He was teaching me. He was teaching me one great lesson 40 years after I played for him. How powerful is that? And that's the legacy of people that taught me about the foundation of OpenPlaybook, that we've assembled into a foundational aspect of how to lead change and manage teams that are more effective. Think about it. We start by finding what talent they have that we can turn into a strength. We then move to the next step, and we have a specific objective, whether it's a game, a season, or in business, maybe a system conversion, anything. And we apply it to a specific circumstance, and there's a methodology of how we do that to bring the best out in people. And then finally, just like Jason Frenchie did at the end for me, we give our playbook away. Coach Frenchie gave me the best of his playbook at the end. The crowning jewel of the playbook he saved for me 40 years later. How powerful is that? When we're making change, we want to take a short-term perspective to our actions and a long-term perspective to our vision and our strategy and our objectives. That's what Coach Frenchie did. It took him 40 years to deliver that final message, but you know what? He did. How powerful is that? We take leadership very seriously at OpenPlaybook. Check us out, OpenPlaybook, at www.open-playbook.com.